Right now, while you're watching this, you own a piece of the world. Not metaphorically, literally. You are a fractional owner of thousands of companies. When you buy VTI, VXUS, or VT, something remarkable happens. You become a partial owner of nearly every major company on Earth. From technology giants in California to coffee farmers in Brazil. From oil rigs in the North Sea to microchip factories in Taiwan. Right now, while you sleep, this empire works for you. Let me show you the invisible empire you never knew you owned. Let's start where many index funds have their heaviest weight, America. Through VTI, you own a slice of Apple's global operations. That includes factories in China assembling iPhones around the clock, design studios in California creating the devices of tomorrow, retail stores on 5 continents where customers browse and buy. You own part of Microsoft's cloud infrastructure spanning the globe, data centers in Virginia, Ireland, Singapore, running millions of computations. Office towers in Seattle where software engineers write tomorrow's code. Through your index fund, you're invested in Amazon's logistics empire. Warehouses the size of small cities operating day and night. Delivery vans carrying packages to doorsteps in 10,000 cities. Servers powering AWS, hosting half of the internet's infrastructure. You own a fraction of Google's search engine processing. Billions of searches answered every day in milliseconds worldwide. YouTube servers storing and streaming millions of videos every second. You're part owner of Tesla's electric vehicle revolution. Factories in Nevada, Texas, and Shanghai producing thousands of cars. Charging networks spreading across highways on multiple continents. Through VTI, you own healthcare giants developing life-saving treatments. Johnson & Johnson facilities producing medical devices across 70 countries. Now let's travel east, where VXUS and VD give you European exposure. You own a piece of Germany's legendary automotive engineering. BMW assembly lines in Munich crafting vehicles with precision and care. Mercedes-Benz factories where craftsmanship meets cutting-edge automation. Volkswagen plants employing hundreds of thousands across the continent. Your index fund includes Swiss pharmaceutical companies saving lives. Novartis and Roche laboratories researching treatments for cancer and disease. Clinical trials across Europe bringing new medicines to patients worldwide. You're invested in France's luxury goods empire. LVMH workshops crafting handbags, perfumes, and watches by hand. Hermès ateliers where artisans spend days creating single luxury items. Retail flagships on the Champs-Élysées drawing millions of customers yearly. Through VXUS, you own part of the Netherlands' global trade networks. Rotterdam Port handling millions of containers connecting Europe to the world. Shell and BP energy operations powering industries across continents. You own a fraction of Spain's renewable energy leadership. Iberdrola wind farms across Europe generating clean electricity constantly. Solar installations in southern Europe feeding power to the grid. You're invested in Nordic innovation and sustainable design. Swedish companies like Ericsson building global telecommunications infrastructure. Now we travel to Asia, where your index owns manufacturing giants. Through VT and VXUS, you own Taiwan's semiconductor dominance. TSMC factories producing the chips inside nearly every electronic device. Chip fabrication plants operating 24 hours in perfect precision. You're invested in South Korea's technology and automotive sectors. Samsung Electronics factories assembling smartphones, displays, and semiconductors. Hyundai and Kia automotive plants exporting millions of vehicles globally. Your index fund gives you ownership in Japan's industrial giants. Toyota production facilities pioneering manufacturing efficiency for decades. Just-in-time production systems copied by manufacturers worldwide. Sony factories creating cameras, gaming consoles, and entertainment technology. PlayStation production meeting demand from millions of gamers globally. You own part of China's vast manufacturing ecosystem. Alibaba's e-commerce platforms connecting millions of businesses and consumers. Warehouses and logistics networks spanning the entire country. Tencent's digital ecosystem used by over 1 billion people. Your portfolio includes Australia's natural resource companies. BHP and Rio Tinto extracting iron, ore, copper, and minerals. Shipping raw materials to factories across Asia and beyond. You're invested in India's growing technology and service sectors. Infosys and TCS software development centers employing hundreds of thousands. Indian engineers writing code for companies across every continent. Through your index, you own pharmaceutical manufacturing in India, generic drug production facilities supplying affordable medicine globally. You own part of Singapore's financial services hub, banks and trading firms connecting Asian and Western markets. Your portfolio includes Indonesian palm oil and natural resources, Malaysian semiconductor and electronics manufacturing contributing to global supply chains, Thailand's automotive parts factories supplying major car manufacturers, Vietnam's textile and electronics factories growing rapidly. Your global index extends to Latin America's resource wealth, Brazil's agricultural exports feeding the world's growing population, soybean, coffee, and sugar plantations across millions of acres, Petrobras oil platforms off the coast drilling in deepwater fields. You own part of Mexico's manufacturing and energy sectors, auto parts factories near the U.S. border supplying Detroit, Pemex energy operations extracting and refining petroleum products. Through VT, you're invested in Chile's copper mining operations, massive mines in the Andes providing copper for global industry. Your index includes South Africa's mining and financial companies, gold and platinum mines that have operated for over a century. You own a fraction of Russia's energy giants, Gazprom pipelines stretching thousands of miles across tundra and forest. Your portfolio touches Middle Eastern energy production, Saudi Aramco operations producing millions of barrels daily. You're invested in Turkey's manufacturing and consumer goods. Your index includes Egyptian telecommunications and infrastructure, Polish manufacturing facilities supplying European automotive and appliance industries. Your ownership extends to Nigerian banking and telecommunications, Kenyan mobile payment systems pioneering financial technology in Africa. All these companies are connected in vast global supply chains. Raw materials from Australia become components in Chinese factories. Those components are assembled into devices designed in California. The devices are shipped through Rotterdam to customers in Europe. Energy from Norway powers the factories manufacturing in Germany. Software written in India runs systems in American hospitals. Brazilian coffee is served in French cafes. Saudi oil becomes jet fuel carrying passengers across continents. Mexican auto parts become vehicles driven on Japanese roads. This interconnected empire operates while you sleep. While New York sleeps, Tokyo markets open. As London closes, San Francisco is starting its day. Factories in China run 24-hour shifts continuously. Cargo ships cross oceans carrying goods to every port. Data centers process transactions every second of every day. Your fractional ownership connects you to all of it. When you buy VTI, VXUS, or VT, this is what you own. Not just financial numbers on a screen. Real companies, real people, real products, working around the globe. This is your invisible empire, working for your future. Owning one company means betting on one specific future. Owning 10,000 companies means betting on progress itself. When one industry struggles, others rise to balance it. When one country faces challenges, global growth continues. Your index fund automatically rebalances as economies shift. Companies that grow receive more weight in your portfolio. Companies that shrink naturally occupy less space. You never have to guess which companies will succeed. You simply own them all and let results emerge. This is the power of market cap weighted indexing. The largest companies naturally have the largest influence, but you still own every competitor ready to grow. When Nokia fell, you automatically own more Apple. When Blockbuster died, you own Netflix as it rose. You don't need to predict the future. You simply own whoever wins, automatically. This strategy has survived wars, crashes, and pandemics. Through every crisis, patient investors holding index funds recovered. Because human innovation and productivity always find new paths forward. Every generation creates new technologies and new wealth. Your index fund captures that growth automatically. You don't pay high fees to active managers. You don't spend time researching individual stocks. You don't try to time market highs and lows. You simply invest regularly and let compound growth work, while you focus on your career, family, and life. Your invisible empire grows quietly in the background. No drama, no panic, no constant monitoring required. Just patient ownership of global economic progress. This is how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. Let's talk about what this means for your actual retirement. Imagine investing $500 monthly for 30 years. That's $180,000 you personally contributed. But your account doesn't hold $180,000. With typical market returns, it holds closer to $1 million. The $820,000 difference is compound growth. Your global empire working, reinvesting, compounding, year after year. That $1 million represents ownership in all those companies. The factories, farms, technology, energy, and innovation we explored, all working to generate profits that flow to shareholders. Those profits become dividends deposited in your account, automatically reinvested to buy even more shares, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of wealth building. In retirement, you can live on 4% annually. That's $40,000 yearly from your million, while your principal continues growing to outpace inflation. Your invisible empire keeps working, even in retirement. Companies keep innovating, selling, and generating profits. Those profits flow to you, funding your retirement lifestyle, without you needing to work, manage, or stress. This is the reality index investing creates. Not get-rich-quick schemes or speculative gambling. Just patient ownership of productive global businesses, allowing compound growth decades to work their mathematical magic. The earlier you start, the more time works for you. A 20-year-old investing monthly reaches millions. A 40-year-old starting faces a steeper climb. But both build wealth through the same invisible empire. Both own the world's companies, working while they sleep. Both participate in human progress and innovation. Right now, your invisible empire is waiting. Thousands of companies across dozens of industries and continents, all accessible through 3 simple letters on your screen. VTI gives you every publicly traded American company. VXUS gives you every major company outside America. VD gives you both in a single fund. One decision, one purchase, global ownership achieved. No stock picking, no market timing, no complexity. Just ownership of human enterprise at its largest scale. Your wealth grows as civilization advances. Your retirement is funded by global productivity. You don't need to understand every company you own. You just need to trust that human innovation continues. And it has, through every challenge history offered. Wars, depressions, pandemics. Markets recovered from all of them. Patient index investors participated in every recovery, while active traders and stock pickers struggled and failed. Your empire doesn't require your constant attention. It simply needs time and regular contributions. 10, 20, 30 years of patience, and the mathematical certainty of compound growth. This is your invisible empire. Claim it while you sleep. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. See you next video.